Hey guys, this is Shuriel, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Modest Millennial. On this channel, we talk about all things money, from getting out of debt to saving your first $1,000 to even building a multi-million dollar net worth. We'll talk about things that they don't teach you in school. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that was recently approved by Congress. This package is designed to put $1,400 stimulus checks in the hands of several Americans and is supposed to help kickstart the economy. Now, guys, this is not the first time that a stimulus package is making rounds of the news. This is, in fact, the third time in the past 1 year that Congress was able to get a stimulus package approved. The first time such a package was approved last year, $1,200 stimulus checks were distributed to several low income Americans. The second time around, when this package was approved back in the last quarter of 2020, $600 stimulus checks were distributed to several Americans. This time around, even though the stimulus amount is higher than the first couple of times, Congress has made it more difficult to qualify for getting the checks. Third round of checks is based on your income from your latest tax returns from either 2019 or from 2020. If you are single and make up to $75,000 a year, you have a chance to qualify for the entire $1,400. If you are married and make up to $150,000 in combined income, you both have a chance to qualify for $1,400 each. It's $2,800 in combined stimulus checks. That is a lot of money, guys. Obviously, getting free money from the government is exciting, and a lot of people already have a ton of plans to make exciting purchases. However, you should definitely think twice before throwing the money at things you might regret buying in the future. Here are a few things you can direct the money towards so that you are making a conscious choice and don't end up regretting the expense. First of all, you can start spending the money on your needs. Now, unemployment was at an all-time high when the first stimulus package was announced. Since then, a lot of people have gotten back to their works, restaurants have opened up, malls have opened up, and a lot of people have started making more income. So unemployment rate has gone down, but we are still not out of the woods, and we still have a lot of people who are out of a job and are not getting paychecks every week. With not having a paycheck to fall back on every week, it has become difficult for a lot of people to even sustain their basic needs of food and health. Such Americans, the $1,400 stimulus checks really comes as a blessing. You should really consider spending the money on basic needs before deciding to splurge the money on expensive purchases. With the situation of another stimulus package coming around in the future being blurry, you should consider using the stimulus check wisely. Consider stocking up on food for the next few months so that you don't have to go to bed hungry. Rent is not a necessity right now, as Congress just extended the rent and mortgage forbearance to June 30th. Even if you think that food and health is not a necessity right now, you never know when you might end up needing those things. So consider spending the money on essentials such as food and insurance, and then put away the bigger purchases for the future. Now, some of you are going to say, but Cheryl, I really wanted to buy the new iPhone. Well, guess what, guys? You can always buy the iPhone later when you have more money. But for now, just stay low, just focus on getting out of the woods. The second thing you can do with your stimulus check is that you can boost up your emergency savings. Even though a lot of people have already returned to their jobs, there are a lot of people who are still living paycheck to paycheck and do not have anything saved up in case some sort of an emergency comes up. The $1,400 is a good head start towards starting to build an emergency fund or extending the one you already have by adding this $1,400 to that fund. Having a job now does not mean that you're always going to have one, and you never know what kind of expenses you might incur in the future. An emergency fund can give you a good source to fall back on so that you don't have to tap into your long-term investments while you're looking for work. Having 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up really provides that cushion so that you don't have to cut yourself out of buying at least the essentials. Even if you don't lose your job, expenses do come up in any form and they have to be tackled. It is always good to have a good amount of emergency money saved up to fall back on in case such situations do come up. The third important thing you can do with your stimulus money is to put it in a high interest savings account. If you are amongst the very few people right now who are blessed with having enough money to cover your essentials and have a decent emergency fund set up, you can consider putting the $1,400 towards a high interest savings account. A high interest savings account is basically just that. It is a way of making an extra percentage on your savings by putting the money in dedicated high interest accounts, letting it grow over time. This is different than storing your money in a traditional savings account that pays you a teeny tiny 0.01% on your savings. Some of these accounts pay anywhere from 0.5% to 0.7% on the money you have saved up in them. Interest money compounds over time, which means that the interest you earn now will earn interest tomorrow and your money will grow significantly in the future. Online banks such as Ally Bank, American Express, and many others provide access to such high interest savings accounts, so you should definitely go check that out. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content on personal finance. Now, the last thing you can do with your $1,400 stimulus checks is to invest it in index funds. Now, I am a big proponent of index funds, as you shall see in my upcoming videos, But for now, I'll explain how your money can grow in one of these index funds. What you should do is put your $1,400 in an index fund through a Roth IRA and let that money grow tax-free over the next several years. Index funds are basically funds that track the market indices such as the S&P 500 and provide good exposure to your money so that your investment is completely diversified. Historically, an index fund associated with the S&P 500 has grown more than 13% per year over the last 10 years. As long as you think that you won't need access to your $1,400 in the near future, I would definitely consider storing it in an index fund and forgetting about it for the next 15-20 years. As an example, your $1,400 will grow all the way up to $3,000 at a compound annual rate of 8% in the next 10 years without you even touching that money. So guys, you basically just have to put that money in that account and just let it sit there, let the market do its work, and you won't even have to touch the money, and all of a sudden, magically one day, you will have $3,000. So guys, what I think is that you should use your $1,400 wisely. You should either spend it towards buying essentials or building up an emergency fund, or if you already have those two things, you should invest it in either a high interest savings account or put it into an index fund and let it grow over time. It has now been more than a year since all of this first began, and with no end in sight, I would definitely consider playing it safe with any money on hand. So stay safe everyone and save your money for in case anything comes up. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks so much for watching guys. And as a gentle reminder, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Look forward to chatting with you again in my next video. See ya.